Welcome in to Rock Hard Ball, part of the Dogs Media Network at College Football Dogs. Let's get rock hard. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome into another edition of Rock Hard Ball. As you can see, we're not in the studio. We just completely lied to all of you. We went there, and there were some dweebs in our room. So, we are not there. We are actually at the Weezy Casa. So we're all still here together. Clyde is here. He's off camera over there. I don't know if you can hear his woo, but yes, he is here. He's back. We'll have some Kelly's Kinky Rankings tonight. Still got a good episode on deck. Going to be very laid back, kind of all over the place. We were hoping to kind of make this, now that we're all back, the first time that we can really, get back to business and, get things figured out. But again, we're kind of just got thrown to the wolves here with just not having our studio. So we're still going to do what we can. We're still going to do the show. Everything should still be good. But that's just kind of the basis of where we're at today. Still hope to see you all in the comments being active. Hopefully get into some of that stuff because it always makes for a better show. Here's a show rundown for today. AP released the preseason top 25, so we're going to go over that. Talk about who was too high, who was too low. Go through that one by one, kind of similar to what we did with the NFL top 100. And then we're going to get into some NFL preseason week one recap stuff, specifically the rookie quarterbacks, because obviously that's the kind of main agenda piece that most people like to think about. Going to talk about the Olympics a little bit, wrap that up. Team USA taking home the gold, talk about that, what we saw, what that means for the future and for this Olympic run, but all of that nature. And then, of course, we'll finish things up with Rock Hard Takes and Kelly's Kinky Rankings. So that's what we got on the docket for today. That being said, though, let's get into the AP preseason top 25 here for the first thing on the docket. We got teams 16 to 25 here. Iowa comes at 25, NC State 24, USC 23, Kansas 22, Arizona 21, Texas A&M comes in at 20, Miami comes in at 19, Kansas State 18, Oklahoma State 17, 16 is Oklahoma. Weezy been kind of sitting here being quiet so far, so let's get you in here, let's get you active. What are we thinking about the first slide here of the top 25?
I'm shocked by Iowa. I would have had Iowa a little higher personally. And then USC is questionable to me. I still don't know what they like. I don't know if they're a top 25 team. I get why they're ranked there. And then I think Kansas State's a little too low.
Yeah, that's probably most of my thoughts too. Kansas State, Oklahoma State, I know two teams obviously in the Big 12 that are going to be vying for the championship, I think, along with Utah. It's kind of hard to rank where those teams are going to be. Obviously, the Big 12's much weaker now after losing Oklahoma and Texas. But obviously, Oklahoma isn't expected to be anything too special after Dylan Gabriel's kind of, whatever odd transfer out during the offseason. It was kind of one of those things I think that maybe he was draft consideration for a little bit and then just ended up going to Oregon. So much better program, obviously better team over in Oregon, but still Oklahoma would be in a much different position if they had one of the Heisman favorites there. But this is probably the most Big 12 featured slide. Arizona and Kansas in there as well. That it should be, probably not competing for the title, I wouldn't think, but will be up there.
How funny is it though? It's if I told you 5 years ago, it's like, oh yeah, by the way, in the top 25, Arizona and Kansas are going to be right next to each other.
Yeah,
that's never seen before.
No. Then again, USC. We talked about them plenty. Obviously with Culture Bowl 25 too, and their rating there. I just don't see them being a top level team this year, so I'm not really sure why everybody keeps ranking them as one. I think they will be a borderline top 25 team, but I don't think that they're going to be super special.
Yeah, no, I agree with that pretty much.
Yeah. Other than that, though, not too many complaints here. A lot of these guys are pretty properly rated. Iowa's hard. I go back and forth on them because obviously the roster's there, but the quarterback play is so questionable. Obviously, we've all seen how awful McNamara was apparently in their scrimmage. I know it's one scrimmage, but I don't know if you have any thoughts on that.
I to me, I think it's also almost a toss-up between them and Nebraska.
Yeah.
I think you'd agree. I think Nebraska easily could have gotten that slot. And one team that I think should probably be on this list is Nebraska. It's a preseason poll.
Mm-hmm.
There's no harm in putting them up there. I think they're going to be really good this year.
Yeah, they got some votes in the AP top 25. So obviously they had some recognition. There was at least a consideration for Nebraska to be in the poll. But they were not. They also weren't the first team off. They were, 5 or 6 spots off of the top 25. So we'll see if they get a good start like everybody kind of expects them to. Maybe they find themselves in the poll fairly early in the season still. Next slide here, 6 through 15. This is obviously in the front half years where we get into some of the maybe borderline title contenders, but obviously a lot of these teams are going to be in heavy contention for playoff spots. Tennessee at 15, Clemson 14, LSU 13, Utah at 12, Missouri 11, Florida State 10, Michigan at 9, Penn State 8, 7 is Notre Dame, 6 is Ole Miss. I don't know. I mean, a lot of these teams I think we probably feel mostly okay with being in this range. Just kind of the order is probably where it comes in. I don't know how you feel, but
to me, like this, it's like a really good, like, we know these teams, except one stands out to me. It's like, I don't think anybody really knows what LSU is going to be like this year. Well, like every other team, like obviously Missouri and Utah, it's just experience, old guys, depth, and then maybe like Notre Dame's kind of being projected a little too high, and Tennessee was a young guy. But like, I don't know how good LSU is going to be next year.
Yeah, they're a questionable team. I think Tennessee too. I feel like people are either really high or really low on them. I'd like to think I'm kind of in the middle. I think 15 is probably a close to good spot for them. Could maybe see them a couple spots lower just because, I mean, I Am Lava was obviously a very, very high rated recruit coming out of high school. And he looked good in that whatever bowl game he played and stuff at the end of last year. But you still don't know for sure. I mean, it's almost similar to like a true freshman quarterback coming in. He's only had 1 year in college system. So a lot of that's going to rely on him, I think. Michigan, let's talk about them a little bit. Obviously, they've gotten a lot of attention all offseason long, but they do now find themselves at 9 in the preseason poll. It's the lowest that we've seen a defending national champ be ranked since Auburn in the year after Cam Newton left, which that one obviously made sense. They had some guys leave for the NFL, and Cam Newton was a one-man wrecking crew. A little bit different situation than Michigan, I think, because they still bring back a ton of talent. So I don't know. I mean, obviously you're a Michigan fan, but do you think that they are still fairly rated, or do you think it's maybe slightly disrespectful to be the lowest rated defending champ in the last, 13 years?
Slightly. I mean, I'm not gonna lie to you, but at the same time, it's like I don't have a problem with anybody above them, except like I do think Ole Miss, Notre Dame are kind of projections, like with the talent that they're bringing back. But I said it before. I think Michigan's defense could like genuinely have a chance to be maybe the greatest within like 20 years.
Yeah, tons of talent came back on defense. It's just the offense that's the question. Obviously, we talked about quarterback questions. Is apparently Orgy wasn't like the confirmed starter for a while. They wouldn't really acknowledge it, so maybe that's a question mark.
No, they're saying he is going to be now, but again, I don't know. You're right though, in the sense that I don't know. I mean, they are bringing back some talent though. The receiving core is still there. We don't know Orgy, but like it's Michigan offense. Like everybody called JJ, a handoff merchant. So I don't feel like you need to step in and have an unbelievable quarterback at play for this team to have success.
Yeah, Donovan Edwards is still there. Expected to be one of the top running backs in the country. And then the offensive line, I mean, we talked about it, I think, earlier. It's still ridiculously good. I mean, I think you said it, like they could have probably just rotated 5 in 5 out last year and they would have been.
Yeah, Harbaugh said he had 2 different units, which is, again, it's a good testament to what they've done. Obviously they lost a shit ton of talent on that offensive line, but I trust the coaches. They said it's just next 5 up.
Yeah. Cass commented, surprised that Wisconsin is not slotted in the top 7 or 8. Definitely not. Wisconsin, not a team that I think a lot of people expect to find in the top 7 or 8. Maybe a little bit of a homer pick by you there, Cass. I think if you would have said Wisconsin maybe slipping in the back end of the top 25, maybe could have got behind that a little bit. I think they're kind of in that same category with Iowa and Nebraska. They're just not expected to have as good of a season based on a tougher schedule. But yeah, definitely not a top 7 or 8, unfortunately, for the Badgers this year. Let's go to the top 5. This is where the real title contenders fall in. Pretty similar, I think, to what most people would have thought. Alabama comes in at number 5. Texas is at 4. Oregon slots in at the 3 slot. Excuse me. They got 1 first place vote. Ohio State comes in at number 2. They had 15 first place votes. And number 1 of the Georgia Bulldogs, they had 46 first place votes. As far as the top 5 goes, like I just said, pretty similar to I think what most people would have had. Only thing that probably surprises me here is Georgia having so many more first place votes than Ohio State. I don't know if that is surprising to you at all. I think I expected Georgia to be number 1, but maybe a little bit closer margin.
Definitely very surprising, but like the biggest surprise to me is Alabama at 5. It's like in the same essence, they had the same shit go down as Michigan. You lost a lot of talent and your head coach is gone. So why are they like all of a sudden, like, is it because Milroe's back? Like, which is fair. Like you have an established, high level quarterback. I get it, but I don't think Alabama should be 5 to start the year.
I think if anything, it just is a lot of a testament to what the media still thinks of like Kalen DeBoer as a coach and just the program that they have built there. Obviously they still have a huge reserve of talent. And like you said, I think Milroe is a huge part of it. Anytime you have a Heisman contending quarterback for your team on a high level team, I think that is a big thing that people look at because obviously it's not like quarterback doesn't make quite as big of a difference in college ball as it does in the NFL, but it's still notable.
Yeah, 100%. Obviously, they know the guy they can go to down the stretch, and Michigan doesn't. I get that point.
Yeah. All right. Cass said he apparently was just talking about the old heads, classic old head take. All right, let's get into the NFL preseason week 1. Talk about that a little bit. Obviously, we can only talk about the whatever preseason top 25 for so long. Let's just get to football. Jason says 46 suspended licenses for Georgia. You know what? Probably not far off. Pretty close. If that was that kind of stat, though, you know what? They might have even had more first place votes. So, NFL preseason week 1 recap. Here's what we're going to kind of get into. Bo Nix, really impressive in his Broncos debut. McCarthy continuing to look good for the Vikings. Obviously, we've heard some good things out of camp, just in general, in terms of McCarthy and how he's looked so far. Williams, Daniels, some of the other first-round quarterbacks didn't see a lot of action, but they looked okay. And then we're going to talk a little bit about just kind of NFL rumor mill stuff that we're going to, get into. So, first things first, let's get into Bo Nix. I think he was probably the most impressive performance that we saw in the preseason. He came in, went 15 for 21 on his passes, 125 yards, a touchdown, no turnovers. Also had a few rushes as well, picked up some yards with his legs. So, I don't know, Weez, what did you think of Nix's performance? Obviously, he's got a chance to compete for the starting job there in Denver. I think they're going to start him for the next preseason game. Do you think he's the starter by week 1?
I think he is, but I also I don't want to say he played the best because he also played the most by far.
Yeah.
Obviously JJ played a decent amount of snaps too, but no, he looked good. But I wasn't out of the. I thought there was other rookies that impressed me more than him.
I don't know. I thought he looked really good, and at the same time, it kind of goes back to the fact that he is one that's in a real position to win a starting job, which I think is why he gets more attention, and it's more, I guess, noteworthy to just kind of talk about it. But you're right. Yeah, he played more, so obviously his stats are going to look better. But at the same time, playing more is, some of the other guys had 1-2 drives that were, I'm sure, completely scripted, and so they just only had to go out there and perform for that many plays. Whereas he had to play, whatever. I don't know how many actual drives he played, but to the point where, it's not all scripted, right? They had to.
No, 100%. No, obviously that first drive is, but yeah, you're right in that sense. And again, I thought he looked good, but he didn't blow me away good. If that makes sense.
Yeah. But his competition is also Jarrett Stidham and Zach Wilson. So
yeah, he should not lose that job.
Yes, absolutely. All right, next quarterback that we're going to get into is one that we mentioned there at the beginning. We just mentioned again a second ago, JJ McCarthy. We talked about it on Thursday, I think it was maybe that McCarthy had looked impressive in camp, and he continued to look impressive in the preseason game. He got all the haters after him right away as he threw a pick, I think, on his first pass attempt or something like that. So all of a sudden got just really upset. Collins over here doing handoff motions because I guess he's a handoff merchant, but he did go 11 for 17, threw for almost 200 yards, and then after that pick, he ended up going 2 touchdowns and no more turnovers from that point on. Also had a couple rushes, picked up some yardage with the legs. So, Weez, what do you think? Your former quarterback there at Michigan, impressed by him? Were you more impressed with his performance than Nick's? Pretty similar.
I was not more impressed because obviously JJ, when he started to go off, he was playing a scout team, which is very important to emphasize. But no, he's just fun to make fun of. I get it. Everybody, he's just a punching bag on Twitter. But no, I thought he looked good. Vikings fans should be happy.
Yeah. Let's get into this comment action here again. Again, this is always probably the best part of the show anyways. So Joel said that Nix threw 5-yard checkdowns the whole game. Fair enough. I think he went downfield a couple times, but that also is helpful for stat padding. Tone, good to see you back in here.
Welcome back, Tone.
Always great to see you, one of our top boners in here. We have not started school yet. School's back August 26th, so that's when we get back to the flow of things. Thanks for being concerned with our academic goals, Tone. Appreciate it. We are not at the break room at Hustler HQ. We're actually at Weezy's house, the crib. But yeah, back in the studio here soon, hopefully. Let's make sure that we get that room reserved. Didn't think that it would be a problem yet with school still being out, but we'll have to look towards that later. Yeah, Tone, anytime. Great to see you. Jason says Patriots quarterback battle, Milton and May. Looked good, right? We'll get into that next. Don't really have a set brand for this one, but we'll get into that a little bit. So the Patriots were taking on the Panthers in the preseason. They ended up winning 17-3. Neither Milton nor May really saw a ton of action. May went 2 for 3 for 19 yards. Milton went 6 for 54. I don't know. Same thing that I kind of mentioned when we were talking about Nix and McCarthy. It's just when they play that little, it's kind of hard to get a read.
100%. Yeah, I mean, obviously Milton did look better. I mean, he used his feet very well, but I mean, I think we're battling for bad quarterbacks. I don't think either of them are good. Actually, let me rephrase that. I know Joe Milton is ass. All right.
Still faith in May, though, right? Little faith.
I
in May.
mean, I like obviously NFL talents think he's good. So like, what am I to say he isn't? But no, I don't think he's a great prospect either. But what I do know is Joe Milton is awful.
Yeah, fair enough. I think everybody knows that May is still who they're going to try and push to be the guy. I mean, you don't spend a third overall pick on a guy to just not play him. So we'll see what happens there. But yeah, limited action, and there's so much speculation going on from training camp, stuff like that. We'll see what actually ends up happening down the road. But I don't think either of them are going to play for at least the first half of the season.
No,
at this point, looks like they're.
I would not be shocked if Brissett gets the whole year.
He might. Yeah, very, very true. All right. Let's move on here to some of the other first-round quarterbacks, talk about them a little bit. The first overall pick, Caleb Williams, saw his first action in preseason. Again, same thing, pretty limited, 4 for 7 for 95 yards. Had one nice rush, too, where he carried it for 13 yards. But he got out there, got his feet wet, made a couple nice throws. So, I mean, it's kind of what happens in the preseason. They're not going to trot him out there too long. Jaden Daniels also very similar to Caleb Williams. 2 for 3, 45 yards. He did have one really nice throw down the sideline, though. I don't know if
yeah, no, it was gorgeous. Mm-hmm. Obviously, they said he audible, checked out of that, so it was a great ball. But I mean, again, he threw the ball 3 times. Like,
yeah,
not much to see there.
Mm-hmm. He also ran though a couple times, looked nice. Or I guess it was just once, but it was for touchdown. Made a good read on the read option. So that was good by him. And then finally, the last first-round quarterback that got some action in the preseason was Michael Penix Jr. Played a little bit more. He went 9 for 16, 104 yards. About it from his performance. Nothing too spectacular, but played clean, didn't make mistakes. So, again, a lot of these guys just about seeing what they can kind of develop into as they go forward and try and get things going.
So that's the Packers fan coming out of you. We're not even going to talk about Caleb Williams?
Huh?
We're not going to talk about Caleb Williams?
What?
He was, in my opinion, by far the best quarterback of the week. And we're just going to skip over him.
It's just hard. He threw 7 passes.
Yes, he did, but the talent on those throws was like better than every other quarterback.
I'm not going to deny that Caleb Williams is super good. I
just find it wild that we were just going to brush over the guy. Some of the throws he made were elite.
Yeah, they're good throws.
Broadcasters would say it was a little Mahoney.
Little Mahoney, yeah, okay, yeah, sure. Give Caleb Williams the love. I'm for it. It's fine. But yeah, he's going to be very good. I hope that he is not better than Jordan Love, and I hope that the Bears are not better than the Packers, but we'll see.
I don't know. It'd just be criminal if we spent 10 minutes on Bo Nix and we just go, and Caleb Williams played too.
Still, I'm going to keep going back to the fact that he just did not play as much, so it's hard to talk about it more. I mean, you can only talk about the same 4 passes how many times?
Yeah, and there were 4 really good passes that should terrify both of us.
All right, fair enough.
But we have to talk about it.
we just did.
Yes, because I made us talk about it.
Well, you can feel free to jut in at any time, Weez. You're just as much of a host as I am. You just lay down the law. You tell me to shut up and tell them we're going to talk about Caleb Williams. Just let me know. Get some comments here again. Tone, I'm in 0 gender studies classes this semester. Weez, how about you?
3.
3?
No, I'm kidding.
Oh, okay. All right. No, none for Weez either. Cass talking about the Greg Gard Stan account. I don't really care. Tone calling his aunt quick, just in case anybody was wondering. But he'll be back soon, so good to hear. And then Jordan Love stat line. Cass, I can pull it up for you really quick if you'd like me to.
I did see the one touchdown. That was a beautiful ball.
Yeah, good ball there to Dontavian Wicks. Very limited time, but yeah, he went 2 for 2 for 63 yards and a touchdown. So perfect passer rating, 153 or 158.3, excuse me. So yeah, of course, Jordan Love came out, performed well, because that should be another exciting season for the Packers. So even though Caleb Williams looks good, still got full faith in Jordan Love. The Packers should be still, I think, right in that division race with the Lions, of course. So, all right, I think that's probably all we had, right? We're probably recapping week 1 of the preseason.
I think so, yeah.
We do have a couple storylines though. Kind of some rumor mill roundup here for the NFL. We got the two guys that we've just been talking about forever now, the past couple weeks. Brandon Ayuk drama just continues to go on. Obviously, last week it looked more and more like, oh, look, he's finally going to get traded. There's actually like traction here. Nope. Now they're going to say that he's staying in San Francisco. The 49ers are going to get a deal done, and he's not going anywhere, I guess. So I don't know. Ayuk shit's pissing me off.
He'll be gone next week.
Yeah, no.
No, I don't know. I'm done talking about it, honestly. This shit's so annoying.
Yeah. It is just getting out of hand. It's so out of hand that the Cowboys drama is taking a back seat. We can talk about that too. CeeDee Lamb, Jerry Jones thing still going on. Jerry tried to walk back his comments now. He said, you're missed about talking about CD after he basically said that there's no urgency to get the contract done. He was talking about how, obviously they want him there, but at the same time, they aren't going to fold to him. Basically, I don't know. Just Jerry being delusional again. I don't know. Do you have any more thoughts on the CD thing? I mean, he's going to be on the Cowboys.
Yeah. I mean, it's just like at some point, though, it's like, hey, Jerry, just sack up and make the goddamn deal. Yeah. Right. Like, obviously, it does
drag it out for some headlines.
Yeah. Like, it obviously hurts the team if he's not going to perform at all during training camp and preseason.
Yeah. He's got to be there at some point.
Yes.
He can't sit out the entire thing. So, yeah, they got to get that done. It's getting a little bit long here at this point. Hollywood Brown injured in the preseason game. Status is now uncertain for the start of the year. Obviously, a big piece for the Chiefs as we look forward to the next season after Rashi, however you say his first name, was doing his best Georgia impression. So he was obviously in a little bit of trouble this offseason. But he's back. He should be fine.
They're not suspending him, are they?
No, I don't think he's getting suspended. But Hollywood did. He dislocated his clavicle or something like that.
He's hospitalized.
Yeah, they said it's actually really serious. Can be very dangerous. But apparently he's been released from the hospital. So that's good. But could be a little bit of a, just loose footing there for the Chiefs now at the beginning of the year. Because now you obviously bring him in, expect to be either the number 2, maybe even number 1 receiver, depending on how preseason and stuff like that went. And now that he might not be there to start the year. I don't know. What do you think how much of an impact does that have?
It's a big blow. It's a big blow for sure. I mean, obviously, just Worthy's going to really have to step up now.
Yeah. He could still be back, I think, very early in the season. Maybe even for the start. I don't really know if there's a timetable on that yet. But yeah, we'll see what happens there. Really funny story here. A couple Jets stories coming up. Hassan Reddick, who was just traded from the Eagles to the Jets this offseason for like a unconditional 3rd-round pick or something like that, has been holding out of training camp for a new contract. He was traded to the Jets because the Eagles weren't going to pay him. And so he traded to the Jets so that they could pay him and he could be, part of that team, whatever. Now, apparently, he is held out of all training camp and says that he wants to be traded away from the Jets, who he has yet to even step on a practice field for. General manager Joe Douglas said that they're not trading him, but just a really just wild thing for a guy to get traded there. Says in his press conference, he said, I'm so excited to be here with this organization, this team. Now he just wants out. So I don't know. What do you think about the Hassan Reddick thing?
I don't know. I guess Aaron Rodgers is that big of a diva. I don't know. I mean, it makes no sense to me. But also, though, if you're the Jets, you traded him for him, knowing you're gonna have to pay the guy.
That's why I don't. That's the thing I don't get is why the hell would you ever trade for a guy if you're not going to pay him? Especially in that scenario where you knew you were trading for him because the Eagles weren't going to pay him.
Yes, and you would also think you would talk to him beforehand, saying what's the ballpark here?
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, you're not going to trade for a guy and then him just immediately be like, I want this much money. You're like, well, we can't afford that.
Mm-hmm.
It's burning assets in the trade then.
Yeah, absolutely no sense was made there. So next Jet story that should be interesting. I mean, it's not really necessarily a story, but just kind of funny and should be a very interesting read once it comes out. Aaron Rodgers has a biography that's going to be set to release. It's called Out of the Darkness, The Mystery of Aaron Rodgers by Ian O'Connor. How excited are we for this biography of the most interesting man in the NFL?
I don't do reading anymore.
So okay.
Are you going to read it?
I don't know if I'm going to read the whole thing, but I mean, I'll definitely go. I'll check out what other people who read it have to say. Okay. But I don't know if I'm going to read the whole thing.
What was the last book you read cover to cover?
Cover to cover? I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, nobody reads anymore.
Just make a
documentary.
Make a documentary. Yeah.
Watch it.
But I mean, that should be interesting though. I'd really love to see what just goes on inside that brain of Aaron Rodgers, because I think it's kind of auto-ish biography. I think because obviously he's alive and helping write it. I think so. I think a lot of this is gonna be from the mind of Aaron Rodgers. Should make for a much more interesting book, right?
I think so.
Yeah, I don't know. That'll probably. I don't know. Do you have anything else you want to add there, or the NFL stuff?
No, I won't read it. That's all I got to say on it.
All right, pretty straightforward. Okay, let's go to quick commercial break here, and then we'll come back. We'll get into the Olympics wrap up, and then we'll finish out with Rock Hard Takes, Kelly's Kinky Rankings. So make sure you stick around. We'll be right back after this quick little 1-minute break. You're listening to Rock Hard Ball, part of the Dogs Media Network here at Culture Ball Dogs, and we will be right back.
On the College Football Dogs website, you'll find a main page that features some of our biggest and newest stories. our conference pages for content related to your favorite team's conference, our team store where we have products that are available all year long, as well as gear available for a limited time only, our podcast page where you can see when one of the 12 plus College Football Dogs podcasts is streaming live on social media, our subscription page where you can join our Discord. If you're interested in becoming a contributor at College Football Dogs, email us at info@collegefootballdogs.com. If you enjoy any College Football Dogs content, we really do appreciate any donations you can make by visiting the donate page on our website or scanning the QR code here.
College Football Dogs, for the fans.
All right. Thank you once again for tuning in to Rock Hard Ball. Again, I'm Karter. That's Weezy. We got producer Clyde, Cletus, Clarence, whatever you want to call him, over here as well. He'll be doing some Kelly's Kiki rankings later on. Again, this is Rock Hard Ball, part of the Dogs Media Network at College Football Dogs. Make sure you go check out the website, collegefootballdogs.com. Lots of great articles that go up there every day. We got a great partnership with the Maxwell Club. So we've been doing a lot of the release lists, release list stuff for them. So go check out those articles, get the info on your favorite players who made some of those watch lists. Go check that stuff out as well. Next thing we're going to get into is the Olympic wrap-up. Clarence also wanted me to mention that Jonathan Taylor looks really stupid with the Guardian cap. So shout out to Jonathan Taylor. What do we think on the Guardian caps?
I mean, they look stupid.
They look really dumb, yeah. I get guys protecting their heads, but they do look really stupid.
I feel like the only people who should be like allowed to wear those and not get like flamed are like linemen.
Yeah. Go just bashing heads together every single play. Yeah, agree there for sure. All right, let's get into the Olympic wrap-up, though. That's the next thing on the docket. So here are the headlines that we're going to kind of go through here. Obviously, the USA won the overall medal count. They tied with China with 40 overall medals. Obviously, a big kind of storyline throughout the entire Olympics was people talking about how they get mad that the medal count is by overall and not gold, or by gold and not overall. People always argue about it. Good news is that the Americans just won both. So
yeah,
just shut the hell up.
Eat shit, Australia.
Yeah,
you losers.
Yeah. So shout out England. It's not Tuesday today. It's Monday, and the USA still reigns supreme. So technically tied China with the golds, but again, in this situation, we can go to the overall. That's the tiebreaker. We've had more silvers and bronzes. So yeah, sure. Maybe it wasn't an outright win in the gold category, but all things taken into account, USA reigns supreme. God bless the USA. So shout out. Tony is back, guys. Just gotta shout that out really quick. Tone's back. Got off the phone with the aunt, so shout out. Also, Cass said that Weezy, you've been too busy studying women to read. Is that true?
False. I also don't even really know what that means, but
like check out girls.
I thought we were talking about Aaron Rodgers' book. Where the hell is that, John?
Come on, let's catch up there. Let's catch up.
I can't read the comments from this far, man.
That's fair enough. Okay, fair. All right, let's get back to it. So yeah, USA won the overall medal counts. Men's basketball obviously won gold. That's one we've been talking about a lot. That's what people care about the most. So that's what we're going to talk about the most. That's what I care about the most. So Steph Curry went just absolutely nuclear at the end of the gold medal game. He made 4 straight threes. France got to within 3, and then Curry just put them away. LeBron won MVP, our great and glorious king. LeBron MVP of the tournament. Shout out. And then last thing there, KD. He's been claimed to be the best Olympian of all time for basketball. So let's just kind of get into all that in general. Just talk about all that, the impact, I guess, specifically, like I just said, the big 3 from this Olympic run. It's kind of their legacies. Let's just start with, who do you think benefits the most from this gold run out of the? I mean, we can say the entire team, but I mean, truthfully, it's just going to be between one of these 3. Right?
Who benefits the most is
whose legacy do you think is most impacted by just this gold?
Curry, for sure. I mean, people are already like calling it like maybe the best shot of all time.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think LeBron's like everything was to lose there.
Yeah.
Like, nobody gives a really shit if they won. He won MVP. They would have lost. That would have been like a huge hit on him, which is fucked up that like it was a lose-lose situation for him. Obviously, I mean, KD's has the talks of like the best Olympian ever, but Curry definitely had the most to gain out of it, and I think he for sure has.
Yeah. So Curry, that I'm assuming you're really relating to that last 3 where he's like over 2 guys fading away, just absolute moonshot into the basket. Ridiculous. So exciting. I know like everybody on Twitter was talking about, God, how fun would it have been to like actually just like be a Warriors fan for all those years with Curry, because we all finally got to experience that and just rooting for him. Yeah, he's ridiculous. And like you said, yes, I do. I agree. I think he had the most gain from it. Just adding a goal. I mean, he didn't have that yet. People seem to be taking the Olympics more into consideration in like the legacy talk now as of late. I mean, I know it's Olympic season, so it always happens, but still, there's been more talk about it lately, and I feel like they're giving it a little bit more weight because guys are finally playing again.
Not only that, but I also think it's like a huge case though too, in which like obviously the world has developed so much better at basketball.
Yes.
Where like back in the day, it's like, okay, it's not a matter of when America wins. It's like how much are we going to beat the shit out of every other country?
Mhm.
Now it's like if you don't bring your A game, like you have guys like Nikola Jokic who can take you down for sure. So that's why I think it probably is more talked about in terms of legacy.
Yeah, and then even LeBron and KD, I mean, not as much as Curry, but I think LeBron, the one thing you maybe could say he gained a little bit is he's got 3 golds now. MJ has 2. If you want to bring that up in the GOAT debate.
I mean, look at MJ's 92 Dream Team stats. He was awful.
It's not enough to, sway people. People who are in MJ's camp or LeBron's camp are going to stay there unless something like really drastic happens. I think it would take, if LeBron won like another NBA title as like the best or second best player on the team still, maybe that could sway some people over from the Jordan side still. As Clarence shakes his head over here.
My roommate Drew officially declared to me today that LeBron is the GOAT.
Okay.
So we swayed one guy.
Okay, so we swayed a guy there. All right, so the king back on top there. KD, as far as being best Olympian, Cass shouted out. I'm assuming, I don't know what happened here with the text, but I'm assuming this is supposed to be Melo over KD probably. I don't know.
Yeah, probably.
Maybe there's an emoji in there and like I can't read it. Anyways, Melo obviously was great in the Olympics, but KD now has won 4 straight gold medals. Now the
all-time leading scorer. He's the greatest Olympian basketball player, obviously.
I think so, yeah.
Because we kept saying Olympian. Obviously, like guys like Phelps, Simone Biles are better. But yeah, basketball-wise, I think so.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm sure there's some women up for debate, but
no. No, I mean, I don't think there is anybody on like the women's teams that is.
Yeah, because like their competition is still god awful.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing is that the world's caught up on the men's side. They have not caught up on the women's side.
No, they haven't like lost a game since like 2008.
Yeah, it might be even longer than that. I don't know. It's something crazy. They have not lost in a long time. I think they won like 60 plus straight games. I think during the Olympics.
Yeah, which is there's no competition.
Yeah,
exactly what you said.
They did almost lose. France
should have lost.
It was like the KD like foot on the line thing. The chick, threw it up, foot on the line, and banged in, but it was a 2, not a 3, so they didn't tie it. Obviously, we're still rooting for America to win, but that was pretty crazy. That would have been just nuts to see.
It would have been very funny if they would have lost, though.
I mean, it's still a U.S. man. You got to root for them.
Oh, 100%. But like all the Caitlin Clark lovers would have just gone crazy on Twitter.
They would tore that up.
The USA women's basketball team lost us the gold medal like tie.
Oh my gosh, yeah, that would have been bad.
That would
have been bad. That would have been a very dangerous day to open up the app that we call X. That would have not been good. Cass said he was talking about Melo over KD. To each their own, I guess. But again, I think the competition level really plays a factor. Obviously, Melo's competition wasn't slouches by any means either. But still, I mean, also one of Melo's like medals was an 04, which is a bronze. That doesn't help.
Yeah,
he didn't play on that team, but still, just slight like little knock against him. But yeah, all those guys definitely improve their legacy. I've even seen some people saying like this like firmly solidifies Curry as like no question top 10 and starts moving him into that like 6, 7, 8 conversation.
Yeah, they're already like declaring him better than Magic, which goes back to like he obviously gained the most from this.
Yeah,
which again, like he has the biggest moment like these last 2 games that will always like you'll forever remember that shot that he checked. So yeah, he gained the most and LeBron couldn't. So even though he won the MVP.
Yeah. All right. That'll probably do it for Olympics, I think. I don't think there's really anything else to really discuss there. But yeah, shout out to all the U.S. competitors and teams bringing it home for the country. England, that's how you're supposed to do it. You win sports that you invent. Obviously, England can't ever win soccer, so shout out. All right, let's get into Rock Hard Takes. Next thing on the agenda. Today's topic for Rock Hard Takes is going to be little wins in life. So I forget every goddamn time. All right, let's play the intro.
Tone up, folks. It's time for Rock Hard Takes.
All right, so yes, Rock Hard Takes today is going to be the little wins in life. We have the first pick up there already. I actually got a graphic ready today. Weezy and I still do not know each other's picks, so that's good. Colin came in clutch as the producer man, started to do his job. He got the graphics ready for this, so obviously we know our picks are. You can see Weezy's first one's up there already. We forgot to kind of blur that one out to start, but that's all right.
Way to kill the dramatic, Clunk.
So yeah, Weez, go ahead. Explain what your 101 is and why you decided to go here.
There's no explaining it. It's a ghost swipe. Yeah, it's a great feeling. God damn it, it's ruined. All right, 1-1 ghost swipe.
All right. So my first pick in this is going to be thinking you overslept, but you actually woke up before your alarm. So kind of what I mean by this is, you like have an alarm set for the morning. You got to be up for something, and you have the alarm set, and you wake up in kind of like a panic, like it's light out, and you're kind of freaking out because your alarm's not going off. You didn't wake up to your alarm, but then you realize, you look at the clock, you actually just beat your alarm, woke up before it, and you're up in time. So I'll go with
definitely a small victory, but the amount of anxiety though you have in that minute before you know the time.
Yeah, but it
kind of ruins that though too.
I think the after relief though is still worth it to put it in this category. So I think that's a great little win that you can have in life. All right, I got 2 in a row here. My next pick is going to be finding one more beer in the fridge, thinking that it's empty. So, anytime that you've got whatever case of beer in the fridge, you've been drinking them, whatever, all through the week or all weekend long, and, you go to have one more, or you just kind of open it up, you think you're out, but then you find that one more beer that's kind of tucked back behind something in the fridge. Great feeling to find that one last one and kind of have a cool little, just makes it taste that much better. So go with that.
Yeah, good pick. I get 2 here, correct? Yeah, I'm going with getting to leave work early.
Okay.
Always a good feeling. And then next up, getting a good parking spot, specifically in a very crowded lot or garage, and there's a perfect spot right there for you. Beautiful.
Yeah. Clarence, not sure what happened with the graphic here, but you put 2 of them on the same slide. So you ruined my dramatic entrance here. But mine is going to be paycheck being higher than you thought. So basically it's you worked a certain amount of hours in the week. And I mean, most people, if you're not a psychopath, you're not going to calculate out your paycheck every week. But it's usually you have kind of a general idea what you think it's going to be. And then if it comes in, it's whatever, $100 more, $150 more than you thought it was going to be. It's a nice little win. Oh, sick. Obviously still worked for it, but just a nice little thing. So all right, next one. I don't really know what's going to come up. Okay, so for some reason that one's hidden. All right, whatever. There we go. All right, having everything after a night out. That's gonna be my next pick. So if you go out to the bars or just really anywhere, and you maybe are intoxicated and have the opportunity to lose things, which a lot of people have happened sometimes. Getting back home and waking up the next morning, you just look over at your side table on your bed, and it's phone, wallet, keys are all just sitting there, and it's just a fantastic feeling. So I'll go with that as my next pick.
Very good feeling. I get 2 to round it out, right?
Yep.
All right. For my second last one, I'm just gonna go Paul on 18. No matter how bad you were playing, you get to go home happy.
Mm-hmm.
And then for the last one, I'll just say extra fries in the bag.
Okay, extra fries in the bag. Good one. God, Clarence. Come on. All right, my last pick is hitting multiple green lights in a row. So obviously, you're cruising through town, trying to get from point A to point B. Nothing worse than when you're just constantly hitting lights. So when you get that, little stretch where you hit 5-6 lights in a row that are just perfectly turning green as you're getting close. Not a whole lot of feelings in life that are better than that, especially because, again, it's just kind of something you can't really control yourself. So again, it's good feeling that you can get up there with your life. So I'll go with that as the next one. That being said, that's going to round out today's version of Rock Hard Takes. Next thing on the docket is we're going to do some Kelly's Kinky Rankings. So that being said, I'm not going to forget the intro this time.
Should we just jump in his and just fucking ruin everything for him?
Oh yeah. This, I know I can see I can't really see what it says because obviously that's supposed to be a surprise for us, but his does look like it's all set up correctly. So it's nice that you took care of yourself.
Yeah.
Here, Clarence.
Thanks, Dick.
But yeah, I'm gonna play the intro here for Kelly's Kinky Rankings.
Should we have some comments first?
Comments? Oh yeah, let's get some comments. I kind of forget. I'm running all the brand stuff out of here. All right, let's see. So Cass says no shot. Colton masterminded this. Cass, don't know if you want to take back your comment. Obviously, it was Colton because shit was messed up, so makes sense. Font size on the first 2 picks. So we got to fit it in the box. So I'm assuming that's Colton's thought process there, which I understand. Tony also says that my first 2 picks were pretty mid. I thought they were pretty good picks, but I mean, whatever. You know what? We'll take the constructive feedback. Jason said, "Clyde, you suck at your job."
Thank you.
So yeah, another one that's just going after the producer today. Tone says, "Shout out to Five Guys. Great burgers, great fries. Yeah, shout out.
Yeah, they load that bag.
They do load that bag with the fries. Correct amount of burgers to eat at Five Guys. What do we think, Weez? How many burgers you putting down at Five Guys burgers and fries?
I have just one. I mean, they're big ass burgers. Just one burger, side of fry, side of a drink, Diet Coke probably, and that's $40.
Okay. All right, little guy. I'll put down 2 sometimes. I think it's
I still couldn't tell you last month.
damn good burgers. Maybe we should go after the show, grab some food. Five Guys.
I don't know if I have the money
You
for
don't
that.
want to go spend $45?
No,
right.
preferably not.
Fair enough. Tone says somewhere between 1 and 2, so I guess he's right there aligned with us, Weez. And Tony says Cole doesn't know shit about fitting anything in the box. So sorry, Colin. You got Tone got you on that one. All right, let's get into Kelly's Kinky Rankings. Let's hope that Colin can redeem himself. Clyde, Cletus. Obviously, for those who forgot, our last Kelly's Kinky Rankings was maybe one of the worst things ever. Just really, really bad performance from Colin in that one because he did guys that he could fight, and like he had Brian Dawkins on there with like the most scary photo of all time. So yeah, we're gonna hand things over to Colin. He'll introduce the segment today, but first let's get his little video intro going here.
In a world of politics, war, bad beats, and watching your favorite sports teams come up short, sometimes you just need to hear a guy rank random shit. Enter your hero, Colin Kelly, here today for another edition of Kelly's Kinky Rankings.
All right, we're starting off with the first one being Jonte Porter.
Explain the
Well, I mean,
goddamn
it's
prop.
pretty self-explanatory. I mean, 24 Hours in Vegas with Jonte Porter. So Jonte Porter is the older brother of the $3 King on the Nuggets, but he's very shadowed by his younger brother. And actually, yeah, this season he got the boot for gambling on the Raptors, which, I mean, he gambled on himself, but he's like a very poor basketball player, and he gambled for him to do well. But I don't really understand how that affects him. But him coming to Vegas with me, I think it would be a really good bonding experience because he can show me the do's and don'ts of what to do in life. So I'm going to hand that to Jonte Porter. I feel like that might be a good go.
I mean, fair pick.
Yeah, I feel like it's not a bad one.
Much better start than the last time.
Much better start.
Yeah.
So
And then the next one we're going to go with not young Pete Rose, but old Pete Rose. I want like fucking 90-year-old Pete Rose to come around with me.
I don't think he's 90 right now.
Dude, he's so old. I mean, he played what in the 70s? I would assume 70s, 80s.
Yeah, I really don't think Pete Rose is 90.
Nah, he's probably not 90. He's probably
Can you
pushing
Google this?
probably 80. I'm assuming like
Can you
80.
Google how old Pete Rose is?
I'm assuming like 70.
I'm gonna guess 77.
Probably 77, 78.
83.
Wow, 83.
Okay, I mean that far
Okay.
off 90. All right.
So I
think
mean,
my bad.
Pete Rose probably knows some really, really odd things in Vegas, like weird little corners to go hang out on. So bring me there, Pete Rose. We're going to have a fun time. I mean, he can't really do anything because he's basically in a wheelchair, but, I'll carry him around on my back. That'd be fun, little adventure.
83, not 104, man.
Yeah, I mean, he can't walk around all of Vegas, man. I'm going to have to backpack the guy. Yeah, so, yeah, I'm going to have him on my back. He's going to whisper me the what die is going to be next, and then we'll let that play. Next 3, we're going to go with Scooby-Doo Johnny Manziel. I don't want Heisman Johnny Manziel. I don't want Cleveland Browns Johnny Manziel. I want Scooby-Doo Johnny Manziel. So just imagine him in his prime at like 19 years old, 19, 20 years old.
You couldn't get into it.
No. That's the best part. That's the best part. He's underage, but he can get in all of the casinos and everywhere because it's Johnny Manziel. So like imagine I'm in his hotel suite with him signing autographs doing it all legally before it was cool. And then next thing you know, he lets me try on the Scooby-Doo costume. Yeah. So that's my cream of the crop, little king crowd right on there, just wearing that little Scooby costume. So he gets to tag along with me in Vegas. And then number 2 is gonna be Gilbert Arenas. So the only reason why I picked him is because of his connection to Nick Young and how he terrorizes like children. So I think having him as a bodyguard would be a big figure. Also, he's a gun.
Yeah, he might shoot you.
Yeah. He got in trouble with that gun issue. Yeah. That was over a bet also. Yeah.
Was it really?
Yeah, I think it was an in-game bet between two. Yeah. I forget his teammate that it was against, but I know he did pull a gun out on someone. But yeah, Gilbert Arenas, I mean, he's a goofball. Those clips of like Nick Young, like he would break into his house and like scare his children because they're neighbors.
And you want to go to Vegas with the guy?
Dude, it'd be so funny. Like, it'd be like you go on the plane with him there. He'd like start screaming bomb or something. And you're like, Gilbert, what are you doing, man? He's like, get me off this plane.
I love being arrested in airports. It's the best.
So, I mean, you wouldn't be able to leave Vegas with Gilbert because, I mean, he couldn't be allowed on a plane. So you'd just be stuck there forever with him. It's like Disneyland. So I'm going to give that to number 2, Gilbert Arenas. And then number 1's kind of self-given. I mean, especially being a Bulls fan, I'm going to have to give it to the GOAT himself, Dennis Rodman. I mean, it's the party king. He basically lived in Vegas. I mean, WWE. I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory. I mean, the guy basically ran the entire city before Vegas was even a thing. Like, it's Dennis Rodman. He wears dresses. I can wear dresses with him. We can go paint our nails and go out and about in the town. Maybe me and him go to a club, and then next thing you know, we're dancing. We're dancing on the pools, having a fun time. So I feel like it'd be more of a
You and Dennis are on the pulse together?
yeah, and we're high-fiving. We're high-fiving, dancing around, you know, and then Madonna comes around, high-fives us both. It'd be a really fun time. Maybe even Michael Jordan would come. And he'd be like, hey, man, let's gamble also. But this is before the dad incident. So he's still a pretty big gambler.
I still think he is.
No, but he was way worse before his dad died. Which, yeah, that was definitely over a gambling thing. Which,
All right.
Dennis Rodman is nothing a part of that. That's all Jordan. But Dennis Rodman, they were teammates at the time, but it doesn't really matter besides the fact. But I'm going to go Dennis Rodman being the number 1 for 24 hours.
You have breaking news. Clarence declares that Michael Jordan's dad was killed because of his gambling addiction. Live on Rock Hard Ball. Oh my goodness. Way to go, Clyde.
I mean, Dennis didn't help him, but he was a witness.
All right, Clyde's muted. That's enough Clyde for the day. Yeah, that's gonna be Kelly's Kiki rankings.
Oh my god.
Colin, much better list in terms of where the thought process was. The end there kind of went off the rails a little bit, but still shout out a better job for sure than last time. Let's get some comments going here for people who were getting shout out here. Stephen Paddock from Tone says that he'd like to go with Vegas with him. Cass also talking about Kurt starting without explaining what he's ranking. He can't teach this. You really can't, folks.
It's brilliant.
This is why he's the best at being the worst. And Tone says Henry Ruggs. I don't think I want to go to Vegas with him. Not gonna lie. Like life. So yeah, Henry Ruggs probably not the best idea. Alan Griswold, Tone would like to go to Vegas with. Cass says that we need to put up PSA to the Nebraska sororities that Calvin Kelly considers 19 and 20 to be a prime. Full disclosure, Calvin is what are you, 20?
I'm 20. Yeah.
Okay, so to be fair, that's fine for Calvin. No worry. Jason says Kim Jong-un can come third wheel with you and Rodman. How we feeling about that?
All hail North Korea. I'm gonna let my brother come join.
All right. Well, we
don't
know all hail North Korea, but
so in your 10 minutes, you've declared that MJ killed his dad and that we love North Korea.
You have to put up a front for Dennis Rodman and Kim Jong-un or I die. So if he's coming, I have to praise him as much as I can.
You're killing the image of this podcast, man.
I'm strictly talking on Dennis Rodman's behalf. It's not like I support the guy, but Dennis Rodman's best friends with him. I'm not going to be the third one out.
All right. Well, I mean, we probably, as a podcast cutter, should declare Rock Hard Ball does not stand with North Korea. It never will.
Yes, Colin doesn't either. He's just saying stuff. He's just saying stuff, guys. He does. But, all right, Cass is way back in the 1990s before Vegas was even a thing. And then Connor Kidd's a weird one, or weird dude. So yeah, got all kinds of things going here. We're not Jaron Duran, no, probably not. But shout out Jaron Duran, I guess. Just saying slurs. Just real bold move. Also, shout out ESPN for your notification work. Wasn't a great look. They said that he was yelling, and what was it, anti-homophobic slurs.
He's been suspended too.
And then it was just FA. Obviously, it was fan, but not a great look from ESPN. Going with that one. Let's see. Jason says, hey, that's because Clint. Tone's not impressed with Jason. And Tone says, all right, time to wrap it up. I agree. Time to wrap it up. That's enough rock hard ball for the night. Very just kind of all over the place episode, obviously. Not in a great place to do the show. It works, though. We got through it. It's kind of a fun show, though, to kind of mess around for a little bit. Thursday, though, we'll be back. Usually do some better numbers on Thursdays. Chat's a little more active, so that's always fun, too. And Thursday, we should be back in the studio. We're going to make sure that that's reserved and stuff like that so that we don't run into the problem that we had tonight with just not being able to go in there. So we'll make sure all that stuff's taken care of. But for today, thank you guys all for tuning in to Rock Hard Ball, and we will see you all next time.